Should Dak be paid as an elite quarterback?
No, it's a mistake to pay not elite quarterbacks as elite quarterbacks. The quarterback market is irrationally exuberant to begin with. In other words, if you're the next guy up and you are elite, you get paid more than you're worth. And by that, I don't mean in reality. If there was no salary cap, no hard cap in the NFL, they'd be paid even more. I mean more than you're worth as a percentage of the cap. And that's why the team with the highest paid quarterback never wins a Super Bowl. This whole century, they haven't won the Super Bowl. It's not an accident. You have fewer resources to go around. Even when the guy is elite, like Russell Wilson came damn close, right? As the guy who just had his deal redone for top dollars came real close. Actually, when it came time to him making the play to win the Super Bowl, he came up a little smaller. Maybe had they been able to spread resources around a little more, maybe he gets it done. Dak is not Russell Wilson. We hope he can.
What?
But he's not an elite quarterback. We think he might be on his way. When I look at comps around the league, Marcus, I look at guys like Kirk Cousins and Jimmy Garoppolo. Guys who teams looked at. Kirk Cousins gave him a sense he's a quarterback and all this, and he put up numbers, but they were empty calorie stats. And when you looked at it, he was 3rd and 8. He gives you 6 yards. He didn't give you what you needed. He was coming up small under pressure. But he was putting up numbers, and can Kirk Cousins be your franchise guy? So they franchised him. Kirk Cousins has since said about Dak, let the franchise be your friend, made money that way, and eventually got a big deal. Not a market-setting deal, but a big deal. Is Dak better than Kirk Cousins? I mean, I think he is, and I think he will be. I can't prove it, because Kirk Cousins, however small he may have come up in the past, quarterback a team that was no more loaded than the Dallas Cowboys last year and went farther, won more games and won a playoff game. Got to the playoffs and won a playoff game. Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe he's a diamond in the rough. Belichick discovers him, and he sits under Tom Brady, and he could be a guy. He got a nice contract, not a record-setting contract, but a nice contract. If Dak doesn't want that, I understand why you franchise him. Marcus, you can compare him to Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, but what happened when they paid those guys? They won a Super Bowl with Wentz sitting on the bench. They get to a Super Bowl with Goff, pay him, and now what happens? Are the Rams your pick? Are they your second pick in their own division? Why would you make that same mistake just because other teams have?
Dak deserves to be paid elite quarterback money because that's what quarterbacks do when they start and they're the franchise quarterback. That's what happens. Like, look, you have valid points, Max, and I don't want to argue with some of them, but this whole, like, Kirk Cousins quarterbacked the team better and took them to a better record. Oh, it's a coincidence that when Kirk Cousins was in Washington, it wasn't successful. He got with a good football team in Minnesota with a really good defense and a really good coach in Zimmer, and they were able to go further. You talk about Russell Wilson not winning the Super Bowl if he would have had – stop. You even know. Like, I don't even want to dive deep into that about the resources around Russell Wilson, why he didn't win a Super Bowl. And here's my argument. It's the same argument I had when this whole quarterback getting paid situation doesn't come up. Well, if that's the case, if we want to start talking about quarterbacks and when they are paid this inordinate amount of money that people think, don't pay them. Don't pay any of them. Let's not, like when Patrick Mahomes' contract come up, just say, thanks for your service, Pat. You got us a Super Bowl.
No.
Move on because we got to get a cheaper quarterback. No, I don't want to hear it because when they account for the goal is supposed to win Super Bowls. Now, you just tried to argue that even though Seattle has paid Russell Wilson, that they don't have an opportunity to win. Yes, they do. They absolutely do. You know what else? They got a better opportunity to win because Russell Wilson is their quarterback than the
right
opposite.
There, please. I want to deal with that, Marcus. Let's talk about that. Eventually, an elite quarterback who's paid like an elite quarterback is going to win the Super Bowl even as the highest paid guy. You know what his name is? His name is Patrick Mahomes if it's not Russell Wilson. So I'm saying there are two levels to this. One, even the elite guys are overpaid compared to the cap. As a percentage of the cap, even the elite guys are overpaid. But if you're going to pay a guy like he's elite, which is an overpayment, boy, you better be sure he's elite. That is not Dak Prescott. Kirk Cousins got with a better team won a playoff game. He doesn't have a record. He doesn't have a market-setting deal. Neither does Jimmy G. Patrick Mahomes will, because if someone's going to do it, it's going to be a dude like Mahomes. Dak is not on that level.
Max, see what you do, Max, is you try to compare everybody elite paid to who they are. I've been on this show and other shows saying I don't know if I would pay Dak $35 to $40 million to quarterback a team. I'm one in agreement with that. Here's my issue. Comparatively speaking, is Ryan Tannehill worth $90 million guaranteed? Be honest. Over his overall career, what the Tennessee Titans just invested in Ryan Tannehill, do you think he's worth it? Based on his career.
I think that's a borderline call. It's not a market-setting deal. And that's what I'm saying about Dak. Dak should not set the market.
The point is, I'm not talking about setting the market. I'm talking about what's relative to that guy. I'm agreeing with you, Max. I'm saying, look, Dak Prescott is in a situation right now where he can be paid as an elite quarterback. That's not just some figment of people's imagination. He's played well enough for us to have this conversation. But what you determine, should he be paid like an elite quarterback, is comparative to what every other quarterback we've seen get paid. And
Marcus,
in that case with Ryan Tannehill,
if you bring up Tannehill, Garoppolo, Cousins, a contract like that, in that range, I'm with it. If you bring up Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, I believe they're overpaid. If you bring up someone like Patrick Mahomes, he is not in that class, period. And by the way, he's going to be paid like an elite quarterback this year because the franchise tag puts him over $30 million for this upcoming season, average of the top five. But Marcus, what it does is it gives him another season, so they don't have to guarantee him 4 and 5 seasons worth of money if he doesn't develop.
Look, we get all of that, Max. Like you saying the same thing everybody else saying.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.